What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are staying well in this quarantine. It is May 8th, I believe, and that means that the whole month of May it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Yay! Mental health awareness is something that is really important to me. That is one of the main things I'm going to be focusing on. My channel is mental health. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, so I'm going to start with some quick facts. First fact, 1 in 4 adults suffer from mental illness, and 1 in 5 children suffer from mental illness. So that means if you take 4 random people and put them in the same household, 4 random adults, and you put them in the same house, one of those adults will have a mental illness. And same with children. If you put 5 children in the same room, 1 in 5 of those children will have a mental illness. Let's think about another quick example. I'm going to use my college. My college is a fairly small college. We have about 1,357 students. Out of those 1,357 students, 340 of those students will suffer from a mental illness, if statistics are right, which they are. I know a lot of people hear mental health, and honestly, if they don't think like, oh, that means someone's like crazy, they honestly don't know what mental health is. I know some of you are probably wondering, what is mental health? So I'm going to read the definition of mental health from mentalhealth.gov, and I'm also going to make sure I put it on the screen. So the textbook definition of mental health: mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. 3 words I want to highlight in that definition is emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Emotional, psychological, and social. Pause this video and take a second to just think, what is mental health to you? When you think about mental health, what is it to you? I think of a person's well-being emotionally and psychologically. Someone can look completely fine on the outside, but psychologically they can be devastated. They can be feeling like they're dying. So mental health is the well-being of someone's psyche. The state of a person's psychological well-being is very important. And it's important because it literally affects your day-to-day life. Every aspect of a person's life is affected by the state of their psychological well-being. It affects relationships with their loved ones, how they interact on a daily basis with their boss, their drive for their goals, their future, their endeavors, the motivation to just want to live in general. It affects all of those things. So I've already explained to you statistics, and I just explained to you the textbook definition of mental health and why mental health is important. Don't forget the big numbers, guys. Out of the 328 million Americans, 82.9 million of those Americans suffer from mental illness. So after hearing those statistics and after seeing the importance of mental health, why is it that mental health is rarely ever talked about? Why is it mental health is rarely ever dealt with? Why, when people hear the term mental health, is there such a huge negative stigma about it? There are 2 types of stigmas when it comes to the term mental health or mental illness. First, you have the negative stigma from the general public. When the general public hears that a person has a mental illness, they automatically think it's some crazy person on the streets who misused drugs and just made a bad life from themselves, or they feel pity like, oh, something's wrong with this person is crazy. That word crazy comes up a lot to the general public when they hear the term mental illness. Stigmas show in a few different forms. They show through discrimination, through prejudice, and stereotypes. You will also find this in the workplace. Family, friends maybe discriminate against you, but most definitely if a person at work finds out, you are going to be given maybe less task, or they're going to think that you are incompetent because you suffer from a mental illness. Just in general, the general public makes people with mental illness believe they aren't normal. They can't function as normal people in society function. And that is not the case. Especially the church in the African American community. In the African American community, when people hear the term mental illness, they think someone sinned against God or is evil or practicing witchcraft, and they need to pray the demon out. And sometimes, most of the times actually, that's not the case whatsoever. So I don't like that, but to each his own. There's also a second stigma, and that stigma comes from the person who is suffering from the mental illness themselves. They have this negative self-stigma that they should feel ashamed, that they should be embarrassed, that they just aren't normal. Mental illness is an uncontrollable disease just like cancer. When someone tells you that they're diagnosed with cancer, you don't hear a person say, oh, that's your fault. Oh, you gave yourself cancer. You don't hear people say that. Even if someone gets lung cancer because they've been a smoker all of their life, you still don't hear anyone put them to blame. But when the topic of a person's mental illness comes up, people automatically think it's something you can control, when just like cancer, a person cannot control that. Mental illness can be caused by several different things, by environmental factors like the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, problems in your home life. Anything that is around your environment can cause a mental illness. Mental illness can also be passed through genetics. Your family members might have this illness. It might just be something that literally runs in your blood that you can't control whatsoever. Or it could be imbalances in your brain chemistry. Or it can be all three of those things combined, or two of those things combined. Who knows? But mental illness isn't caused by people not living right or not being good people. Mental illness is not caused by the person who has the illness. Mental illness can sometimes simply be the reaction to trauma, the human reaction to the trauma that a person has been through. So again, how is it that person's fault? And why is it such a negative stigma when it comes to mental illness? We shouldn't blame a person for not being mentally all the way there. None of us are mentally all the way there. And I guarantee you would never know. It can be the star football player, the star basketball player, the most popular girl in school. They can suffer from a mental illness. Normal people suffer from mental illness. So why don't we normalize the topic? Why don't we talk about it? Maybe if the world was more accepting, more people would talk about it. More people would go and get help. More people would want to go sit down with their families and say, hey guys, I've been struggling with this. More people would do that if the world is more accepting. I want to touch on the African American community a little bit deeper. So just to give you guys some more statistics, out of the 82.9 million people in the United States who suffer from a mental illness, 6.8 million of those people are African Americans. Do you guys want to know how many of those African Americans seek help? 2.3 million. So out of 6.8 million, only 2.3 seek help. That's not even half. That's not even half. And the reason my fellow young African Americans don't seek help is because of what we were taught growing up. It's because of the shame we feel like we're going to have if we open up and if we do have something wrong with us. Because like I said, in the churches and in our households, we're taught that we are strong, we are resilient, and that indeed we are. But we still have issues, guys. We still have issues, and they can't just be stopped just by praying it out of you or just by being resilient and keeping on. Yeah, we can keep on, but we can keep on better. We can keep on peacefully. We can keep striving towards greatness at peace and not in mental turmoil. But our world is not accepting of people who have mental health issues. They are not accepting of those people. That is why Mental Health Awareness Month is so important to me. But not just this month, guys. We have to do this every day. It is our jobs as humans to spread awareness for the people who are suffering. It's our job to spread awareness and to spread healing. And maybe just understanding that person or simply not judging that person will help. Every little bit counts, guys. Just because we don't understand it doesn't make it crazy. It's just another thing that we don't know. People who are diagnosed with mental illness, I guarantee you none of those people want that illness. None of those people want that disease. So don't treat them as if it's their fault. So how about we as a country, as a race, and when I say race, I mean humankind, why don't we empathize with these people? Why don't we stand and march with these people? We see marches for breast cancer, for all of these other forms of cancers and diseases, but we don't see marches for mental health awareness. I don't really know why, but I know it needs to change. Our job as humankind is to advocate for these individuals who cannot advocate for themselves. It's to spread awareness so more people will understand, hey, this isn't that person's fault. They literally can't help it. We have to do this for one another because no one is going to do it for those people. My goal is to be a voice to those people who are suffering. I want to not only spread awareness, but I want to spread healing, and I want to spread peace and positivity, and I want to spread encouragement. I am here and I understand, and this is for anybody in the world to see. I understand, and I am here with you. I'm fighting this fight with you. So whether it's your family, friends, significant other, co-workers, whoever it is that is making you feel like you're a shame or a burden because you suffer from mental illness, I'm here to tell you that I understand, and I'm here to tell you that you should not be ashamed. You should not be embarrassed, and you should not feel like it's your fault, because it isn't. It's not. I don't care who says it is. it isn't your fault. Hope this video was informal. I hope this gives you something to think about. I hope that you personally change your mindset on mental health and mental illness. I hope that you guys help me spread awareness in the importance of mental health and why it should be talked about. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Leave down in the comments any mental health videos you want me to post, and also make sure you turn that bell notification on so you can get notified for next week's video, which is going to be tips on dealing with depression. Also, if you want to work out with me, go ahead and click this workout and let's do a sweaty workout together. I'll see you guys later. Bye.